Imagine London, the ceaseless energy, the river of red buses, the iconic skyline, and at its heart, the Thames, a dark, powerful artery, the lifeblood of this city for 2,000 years. It has witnessed plagues, fires, empires, and wars. It is a constant, a force of nature, tamed but never truly broken. Now, imagine this. Imagine London in silence. A silence so profound, it's deafening. Imagine the Thames not as a flowing river, but as a solid white highway of ice stretching from bank to bank, a frozen, dead scar through the heart of the metropolis. This isn't a fantasy. This has happened before. But if it happened again, it wouldn't be a party. It would be an apocalypse. For around 500 years, from the 14th to the early 19th century, the Earth experienced a period of dramatic cooling, known as the Little Ice Age. During this time, the Thames froze solid on at least 24 separate occasions. And what did Londoners do? They celebrated. They held frost fairs. The moment the ice was thick enough, a temporary city sprang up on the river. There were printing presses printing souvenirs, pubs set up in tents, puppet shows, and even barber shops. They roasted entire oxen on the ice. The river of commerce became a river of carnival. It was a spectacular, joyful defiance of the brutal cold. The last great frost fair was in 1814. The Thames has not frozen solid since. Why? We have, ironically, made the river too warm and too fast to freeze. The old medieval London Bridge acted like a dam, slowing the river's flow and making it easier to freeze over. Today's embankments have narrowed the river, increasing its speed, and the heat radiating from the city itself, from buildings, from the underground, from industrial discharge, has created a permanent urban heat island. The Thames, freezing over today, seems as impossible as the sun rising in the west. But what if the impossible happened? Let's forget, just for a moment, about the steady trend of global warming. Climate is a chaotic, complex system. Scientists speak of tipping points, of sudden, non-linear shifts. What if a perfect storm of events, a deep and prolonged solar minimum, combined with a sudden dramatic disruption of the Atlantic Gulf Stream, plunged northern Europe into a hyper-localized miniature ice age? The year is 2025. It begins in November. A cold snap, but different, deeper, more persistent. By early December, the city is in the grip of a cold unlike any in living memory. The papers call it a novelty. People share pictures of ice forming along the riverbanks. It's almost beautiful. Then, just after Christmas, it happens. The river stops moving. From Teddington Lock to the Thames Barrier, the river's surface becomes a sheet of gray, fractured ice. Within days, it is a solid block. The carnival does not begin. The terror does. The first casualty is the Port of London, one of the UK's largest. All shipping ceases. The nation's supply chain is severed at its main artery. Food, fuel, medicine, everything that arrives by sea is cut off. Panic buying strips the city's supermarkets bare in less than 48 hours. Then the infrastructure begins to fail. The city's Victorian-era water mains, not designed for such a deep and prolonged frost, begin to burst underground. Streets turn to sheets of ice, and millions of homes lose their water supply. The power grid flickers. Many power stations rely on river water for cooling. With the source frozen solid, they are forced to shut down. Rolling blackouts plunge vast swathes of the city into darkness and, more dangerously, into cold. Without electricity, central heating fails. London, a city of 9 million people, is freezing in the dark. The underground, the city's circulatory system, starts to bleed. Water from thousands of burst mains seeps into the tunnels. With pumps frozen or without power, the network begins to flood. Stations are sealed, lines are closed. The city is not just frozen, it is paralyzed, and a silent environmental catastrophe is unfolding beneath the ice. The Thames is not just a river, it's a crucial part of the city's waste management. With no flow, everything we pour into it, treated sewage, industrial runoff, pollution from the streets, is trapped. The frozen river becomes a ticking time bomb, a cryogenic cocktail of toxins and bacteria. The social fabric tears. Emergency services are overwhelmed. The military is deployed, but the frozen, blocked streets make movement nearly impossible. The city breaks down into isolated, desperate boroughs. The historical frost fairs were a symbol of community and resilience. This new ice age reveals the terrifying fragility of our modern, interconnected world. The river that once connected London to the world has become a wall, isolating it, trapping it. And then, after weeks of this frozen hell, the thaw begins. It is not a moment of relief. It is the final act of the apocalypse. The melting ice releases a catastrophic flood of water downstream, overwhelming the Thames barrier. But it's not just water. It's a toxic slurry. The released sewage and pollutants contaminate everything the floodwaters touch, creating a public health crisis that will last for years. The river's ecosystem, starved of oxygen and light, has been completely annihilated. The London that emerges is a broken city. Its infrastructure shattered, its economy in ruins, its population traumatized. The great river, for so long a symbol of London's enduring strength, has become a monument to its greatest vulnerability. This is a speculative scenario, but it is a stark reminder. Our complex civilization is a delicate machine, balanced on a knife's edge of climate stability. We have forgotten the power of the natural world we have so carefully insulated ourselves from. The story of the frost fairs teaches us about human resilience. The specter of a modern freeze teaches us about our hubris. The Thames has not forgotten how to freeze. We have simply forgotten how to be cold. The real, the terrifying question is, when it does, will you be ready? The ice is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.